Dear learners, as our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi has suggested all of you to stay home and live safe due to ill effect of coronavirus, we are preparing today here online video classes for you, for the students of especially 9th and 10th classes. And the topic is sequence of tense that is displayed on the blackboard. Now, today in this episode we are going to study something about the sequence of tenses, how the tenses are used. Present tense, past tense and future tense are used together. They are combined. Let's know about this thing with the various examples and the rules that is here. First of all, sequence of tenses. What is the sequence of tense? When two or more tenses are added together, then we have to follow the what type of tense should be added together, how the present tense, past tense and future tense can be added with the several connectors in the sentence. And there are some rules regarding that. First of all, we are talking to the first rule, that is when the main clause, I mean to say that the first part of the sentence is in present tense, then the subordinate clause can be in all the three tenses. It means when the main clause is in present tense, the subordinate clause can be in all the three tenses, means can be present tense, past tense, future tense, anyone according to the requirement or sense. Just for example, let's see that with example here. He says, just for example. But before going to example, I would like to write the rule, and the rule is like this: when the principal clause or main clause is in present tense, the subordinate clause can be in all the three tenses. Either present or past or future. This is the rule. I would like to explain the rule once again. When the principal clause, it is also called main clause, is in present tense, the subordinate clause can be in all the three tenses, either present or past or future, according to the sense. According to the sense. According to the sense or requirement. Or requirement. Just for example, let's see the rule with this example. He says that he is a student. We see that he says, that is main clause. That is connected conjunction here, and that he is a student, subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. We see that in this example, we see that he says the main clause is in present tense. Main clause is in present tense. He says the structure is subject plus V5. I mean present indefinite tense is here. Present indefinite tense is here. In details, you must know this tense is present indefinite tense. Main clause, he says, that is main clause is in present tense, present indefinite tense. Then the subordinate clause is in present tense. He is a student. Present tense. It is also in present indefinite tense. Present indefinite tense. And the sense is that he says that he is a student. It means at present he is a student, and we can change the tense. Just see that the main clause remains the same. The main clause will be in present tense, and the subordinate clause can be in past also. We can write here was. Now the tense changes. The main clause is in present tense, but now the subordinate clause changes in past tense, and it is not present now. This tense is past indefinite tense, and the meaning changes. He says in the present time that he was a student in the past time. It means the sentence indicates that the speaker is not a student now. He was a student in the previous time, in the past time. He was a student in the past time. The speaker is not a student right now. He has grown up and he can be in any profession or anything else. He is not a student now, he is not a child now, he has grown up or anything else. The sense changes according to that sentence. But we see that according to the requirement, according to the sense of the speaker, the main clause is in present tense, it does not change, it remains same, but the subordinate clause is changed or has been changed from present to past. In the previous example, it was written that he is a student. It means that time the subordinate clause was in present tense. For the same main clause, for the same tense, now the subordinate clause is in past tense. And similarly, it's clear that we can write a future tense, we can use a future tense in this subordinate portion, in this subordinate clause section, for the same main clause, for the same tense of main clause. And we can write here, let's see, he will be. He will be a student. You can add something more to clarify the sentence. Let's say, see that. He is a student of class 7. He, he will be a student of class 10. Just see the example. He says that he will be a student of class 10. It implies that the speaker who says this statement is not a student of class 10 right now. The sense goes like this: the speaker who is speaking this statement is not a student of class 10 right now. It means he can be the student of class 9 or 8 or 7, etc. The meaning implies like this. But you see that for this main clause that is in present, this subordinate clause is in future tense. Previously you have seen that the main clause was in present tense and the subordinate clause was in past. And you have already seen that the main clause was in present, he says, and the subordinate clause was in present tense in the starting example. You have seen already. Now it is clear that according to the requirement or sense, we see that for the same main clause, for the same tense present of main clause, the subordinate clause can be in any tense or present or past or future according to the sense. According to the sense. And the principal clause, the main clause is in present tense. It does not change right now. It remains same in all the three conditions. You can write. Let's see once again. If you write here, he says that he is a student of class 10. The future tense changes and goes into present tense. The sense changes only. In the previous sentence, when it was written will be a student of class 10, it means the speaker was not the students of class 10 right then, but now he says that he is a student of class 10. It means the speaker is a student of class 10 right now. In this way we see that for the same present tense of main clause, subordinate clause can be in all the three tenses according to the sense. Now it's clear. And after this rule, we are proceeding to the second rule. That is, if the principal clause is in present tense and the connector is and the subordinate clause has a conjunction of purpose, or you can say that when the subordinate clause is clause of purpose, subordinate clause of purpose, then in the place of the verb you should use modal may. May is used to show it. Purpose is denoted denoted by the conjunction so that. In this way, may is used to show it with the conjunction so that. So that. This is the conjunction. And with this conjunction of subordinate clause, may is used. That is important. May is used, for example, if the principal clause is in present tense. Just for example, he reads. This is the main clause. Here it is, main clause. Is in present indefinite tense. Present indefinite tense. Now it's clear. And the coming subordinate clause with the conjunction so that. That is the subordinate clause of purpose. He reads so that. Conjunction. Subordinate conjunction of purpose so that. And the coming portion is subordinating clause of purpose. You should write may with the subject. He reads so that he may. After this so that, you should write may as verb with the subject, verb may and V1. This is the model, and model always takes first form of verb. You know that very well. That's why we should write here any verb that is suitable in its first form. He reads so that he may pass. In the examination, here the present indefinite tense, main clause is in present tense and the subordinate clause is in past, is in present tense. The subordinate clause is also in present tense. Main clause is also in present indefinite tense, present tense. We see that for the same main clause in present tense, the subordinate clause of purpose takes main before the V1, before the first form of verb. To show it, how it is used, may is used to show it with the conjunction so that. And next one, let's see what happens when the tense changes into past. When the main clause is in past tense, when the main clause is in past tense, what will you write? What happens? When the main clause is in past tense, what happens? This subordinate clause, this subordinate clause takes might, M-I-G-S-T, might. This subordinate clause takes might in place of may. If the main clause is in past tense, the may changes into might. This clause takes might in place of may. It is also a model. Might is also a model. That's why it will also take first form of verb. There will be no change in past. You will change only might in place of may. Just for example, he, and now the tense changes, not reads. We will write second form of read. He read. A spelling is same here, but it is pronunciated read. He read. This is the main clause. It is in past tense. And with the conjunction of purpose, indicating purpose, so that in the coming subordinate clause, so that you will write might with the subject in place of may. Just for example, so that he, not may, might. He might pass in the exam. He might pass in the exam. This is the sequence of tense that when the main clause is in past tense, the subordinate clause also takes might in place of may. It is changed into past tense. It means subordinate clause goes into past tense. It is clear. He read, past tense. Principal clause is in past tense. Subordinate clause of purpose is in past tense. We should write might in place of may. That is the past form of may. In this way, we see that if the subordinate principal clause, if the main clause is in present tense, the subordinate clause of purpose takes conjunction, so that you should write may. And if the main clause is in past tense, the subordinate clause of purpose takes might to make the tense past in place of may. Let's proceed to the next one and see the different types of uses of sentence together, how they are combined with each other. Now we are proceeding to the next rule of sequence of tenses. In this fourth rule, you see that what is displayed on the blackboard. The rule goes like this: when the principal or main clause is in present tense or an imperative sentence connected with the conjunction lest, the subordinate clause takes should with the V1. The first form of the verb. In place of verb, you should write should plus V1. Just for example, walk slowly or take medicine on time. The indicated underlined portion is an imperative sentence. Imperative sentence. This is the main clause in present tense. The main clause that is in present tense and the principal clause or main clause is in present tense or in imperative sentence, and it is connected with connected with the conjunction lest, 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 connected with the conjunction lest. Then the next underlined portion you should fall down, or lest you should get it again. This is the subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. This subordinate clause takes should. This subordinate clause takes should plus V1, fall, V1, get, V1. In this example, we see that when the main clause is an imperative sentence and in present tense connected with the conjunction lest, the subordinate clause takes should with verb V1. The subordinate clause takes should and V1, should and fall, should and get. Again, the meaning of lest is that so that not. Previously, we have studied that the conjunction was so that, relating to displaying purpose, a displaying purpose, so that, and now lest indicates the meaning so that not. With so that we were using what? So that we were using may or might according to the tenses. But now in this sentence we see that lest, that has the meaning of so that not, we should write should plus V1 in the place of verb with the subject appropriate. Walk slowly lest you should fall down. It's essential that lest always takes should and should always takes V1. Lest always takes should and should takes V1. This way you can synthesis the two tenses together in a sentence, having the appropriate use of modals and verb forms, keeping the tenses in mind according to the senses and the rule. Now, after this combination or example elaborated here, explained here, we are going to learn something more about the different usage of tenses together in a sentence in our next episode. In the next episode, we will see that what happens when the principal clause is in the past tense. Because today, mainly I have focused that the principal clause or main clause is in the present tense. Then what happens when the principal clause is in present tense? How the next coming subordinate clauses have their tenses according to, on the basis of their conjunctions of purpose or other, etc. In our next classes or next episode, I will later on I will tell you about the uses of the combinations or sequences of other tenses when especially the principal clause will be not in present tense but in past tense. I think that you have understood the things well, and with this I would like to conclude this episode. Thanks you. Lots of thanks to all of you. Stay home, live safe during this lockdown, and my blessings are with you. Just learn well and stay home and safe, live safe at your houses. Thank you. Have a nice day.